Ladies and gentlemen, there will be some speeches in Spanish now again, so if you need translation, then please take a device outside. It is now my great pleasure to welcome you back again for this next session, which is the first ever Ministers and Members of Parliaments Forum, which we are organizing. And we are organizing it here at this Glec 2022 conference. This forum will be co-chaired, and we have the great honor to welcome here the Undersecretary of Undersecretary of Telecommunication of Ecuador, His Excellency Mr. Sheldon Lopez. And the other co-chair from the IEF side will be the IEF Vice President for Parliamentarian and Ministerial Relations, Dominique Tillmans. Let me now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Sheldon Lopez, please.
Bueno, buenas tardes con todos. Definitivamente para mí es un honor estar aquí presentando y dando inicio a este gran foro. Definitivamente, y justo en el Día Mundial de las Telecomunicaciones y de la Sociedad de la Información. Entonces, estamos totalmente en onda. Y más que todo, esto es una pasión que cada uno de nosotros estamos aquí en este día muy especial. Yo quisiera iniciar indicando que ha sido un año de gestión en el cual hemos incluido a más de 600,000 personas con acceso a Internet móvil y fijo, logrando que el 70.6% de la población ecuatoriana, es decir, 12.5 millones de personas, cuente con este servicio. Nuestro objetivo hasta el 2025 es alcanzar el 78% de acceso, y para llegar a esa meta vamos a requerir de todas las tecnologías que puedan contribuir a conectar a todos los ecuatorianos. Entre estas, por supuesto, la conectividad satelital. La revolución digital ha cambiado de forma radical nuestra forma de vivir y trabajar. Next. Más aún después de la pandemia, pero según datos de la UIT, la Unión Internacional de Telecomunicaciones, más de 3,000 millones de personas en el mundo siguen sin tener acceso a Internet en la actualidad. Como sucede con la mayoría de avances tecnológicos y de telecomunicaciones, las conexiones de datos más rápidas llegan primero a las grandes ciudades. La gente que vive en áreas rurales, incluso en los países desarrollados, suelen acceder a un ancho de banda insuficiente, lo que limita su desarrollo e impide un adecuado cierre de brecha digital. Next. En Ecuador existen zonas que no tienen cobertura de servicios de telecomunicaciones. Esto se debe principalmente a su topografía, al encontrarnos atravesados por la cordillera de los Andes y al contar con amplias zonas amazónicas cuyo acceso es complicado. Ante esta necesidad local y mundial, gracias a los recientes avances tecnológicos, varias empresas del mundo están compitiendo por cubrir esta falta en el suministro de Internet mediante satélites y mini satélites que orbitan muy cerca de la Tierra. Desde el espacio exterior se puede suministrar Internet de alta velocidad a todo el planeta. Gracias a estos avanzados dispositivos de telecomunicaciones, potentes antenas y chips de procesamiento de señales, Ecuador no es ajeno a este desarrollo, ya que venimos desplegando esta modalidad de conexión gracias al apoyo privado. Hemos conectado a casi cientos de estudiantes y docentes de 4 comunidades amazónicas en Orellana, Morona, Santiago, INAPO y comunidades de difícil acceso en el norte del país, en la provincia de Carchi, en la Sierra Ecuatoriana. Expandiremos este proyecto para conectar a más sectores e impulsar, gracias a la conectividad, servicios de telemedicina y teleeducación. Asimismo, el país cuenta con 43 títulos habilitantes asignados para servicios de telecomunicaciones satelitales, gracias a los cuales empresas privadas conectan a miles de ciudadanos que viven en zonas alejadas. Las soluciones satelitales permiten cubrir áreas donde no existe infraestructura desplegada, siendo una solución de rápido despliegue, y con los avances actuales se mejora la experiencia de los usuarios. Por eso, en el Mobile World Congress 2022, en el que participó la ministra Viana Maino como expositora, en la ciudad de Barcelona se establecieron acercamientos importantes con varias empresas, entre ellas Starlink, que demostró su interés de invertir en nuestro país. Actualmente, nuestra Agencia de Regulación y Control de las Telecomunicaciones está compartiendo con la empresa la normativa aplicable para cumplir con el proceso regulatorio para el inicio de operaciones. Ecuador sería el quinto país de la región en contar con la presencia de esta empresa, después de Chile, Brasil, Argentina y Colombia. Ahora bien, como gobierno estamos en la línea de convertirnos en un Estado facilitador para el despliegue tecnológico y la inserción de nuevas empresas, más aún cuando los beneficiados son aquellos históricamente olvidados. Por ello, al momento, estamos analizando una modificación al Reglamento General, a la Ley Orgánica de Telecomunicaciones, que permita eliminar la barrera que tiene el servicio satelital, modificando el requerimiento de un título habilitante para que una empresa satelital pueda operar, por un registro o inscripción más sencillo de tramitar. Así atraeremos que más empresas desarrollen conectividad satelital en Ecuador. Asimismo, desde julio del año pasado, con el objetivo de facilitar la conectividad de más personas vía satélite, eliminamos los aranceles del 15% al 0% para la importación de antenas parabólicas. Como les comenté al inicio de mi presentación, cerca de 3.000 millones de personas en el mundo no tienen conectividad y muchos de ellos, por ende, no tienen acceso a una educación de calidad y a servicios electrónicos indispensables en un mundo moderno. La solución para estos problemas quizá está en el espacio, es decir, serán los satélites la solución para proveer de Internet a todo el mundo sin dejar a nadie atrás. Muchas gracias a la International Astronautical Federation y la Fundación Sideralis por la invitación. Es grato saber que ahora el mundo mira al Ecuador con interés para la realización de este tipo de encuentros tecnológicos. Que las conclusiones a las que lleguemos hoy nos permitan llegar a más lugares con mayor conectividad y cerrar rápidamente las brechas tecnológicas existentes. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Sheldon. Well, if I ask you to be on one side, it's because it makes nice pictures. Well, dear space enthusiasts, dear space friends, I'm really delighted to be with all of you here in Quito to strongly reaffirm that no, science, innovation, technological progress as well as the research for our origins, the understanding of the universe, the benefits of space exploration for Earth are not the exclusive prerogative of engineers, scientists, and researchers. It is, and it must be, also a prerogative of women and men engaging in politics. Unfortunately, for most of us, space is not a priority, and this is a worry situation. Because today, more than ever, space is about defense and security, which means autonomy of countries. More than ever, our world depends on space assets and data in all domains. More than ever, space represents thousands of billions of dollars worldwide to advance science and technology. And more than ever, space solutions are omnipresent in our daily life and has become indispensable, an indispensable ally for our economy, our security, our independence, for the evolution of science and the well-being of civil society. But I will come back on this later on. I'm very grateful to IAF for having understood very, very early that it was essential to associate politicians, men and women, on the importance of space for each country and for the world. And it's nearly now 11 years now that Christian Feitinger and his team organized this Member of Parliament meeting. And I'm really appreciative to them for giving me the opportunity to rethink and reshape the mock meeting which became the Ministers and Member of Parliament meeting, MMOPs. But before discussing the content of our day, I would like to join Christian Feitinger and also Pascal Ehrenfreund in thanking and congratulating Sideralis by hosting the Global Conference on Space for Emerging Countries 2022 for all Latin America here in Quito. I have a warm thanks also to Sheldon Lopez. Thank you very much for your presence and for your time and for your availability. Of course, I will not forget to thank all of you for your presence and the speakers for their participation. And I would like also to thank warmly Martina and Alessandra for organizing this MOPs meeting, because it was very difficult. So thanks a lot to both. Dear Excellencies and colleagues, it's a chance to be IAF Vice President with the portfolio of parliamentarians when you are a former parliamentarian. It's a wonderful opportunity to initiate a new vision of the MMOPs meeting through the parliamentarian eye. What is our vision? What is our ambition? Our ambition is to make the MMOPs meeting the place that brings ministers and parliamentarians together, the place that resembles us, the place that meets our expectation, our interests. We want to make this place the place to be for parliamentarians and ministers. The place to be for all ministers and all parliamentarians all over the world, coming from countries using or not space solutions. Our aim is to give us the unique opportunity to learn and inspire one another by making our meeting a one-hand shopping of ideas on operational space solutions. What does it mean practically? 3 goals. We want to give the opportunity for ministers to present their country's space strategy. Second, to give to parliamentarians the opportunity to meet, exchange, share experience, information, good practices on space solutions. 3, to make space more accessible for us, more understandable for us. Our motto should sound like, what is possible in your country must be possible in mine too. What is changing from the past? We are no longer spectators by listening to the speeches of space experts. We become actors. We are on the driving seats. We are guiding now our meeting by explaining relevant space solutions in our country and our own specific challenges. Our presentations are policy to policy, peer to peer, explain it in an understandable, non-technical manner where the topics covered are in direct relation to our concerns. Now, why did we choose space solution for the benefit of civil society? Because space solutions, and if you see, I don't speak about space application. I speak about space solutions because I think it's more understandable. Because space solutions have never been more present in the lives of all our citizens. Because space solutions can be an incredible ally in meeting specific national needs. Because space solutions create benefits in all aspects of our daily lives. Because space solutions are a lever in day-to-day management of a city, but not only, also in rural areas, be it culture, agriculture, water management, transport, security, mobility, healthcare, emergency, education, and much more. And just a little anecdote. Before coming to Dubai last year, some parliamentarians were not really attracted by space, not really interested by space, but by preparing their statement, they become aware that about the benefits of space solutions and how space can help people in their daily lives. And I can tell you, for many, it was a discovery. What is the next step? Given to the success and the enthusiasm of the parliamentarians at our first meeting in Dubai, we launched the 2nd edition by now associating the ministers the 17th September in Paris during the IEC, during the Congress, and to inform everyone on the organization of our meeting and to help you to prepare your statement. We planned a video conference on the 16th June. So please save 2 dates, 17th September, our MMOP meeting in Paris, and the 16th June for the video conference. I conclude. The MMOP's meeting is the unique place where ministers and parliamentarians all across the world, north, south, east, west, have the opportunity to focus on their expectation and their interest on space solution. They have the opportunity to learn and inspire one another thanks to the experience of colleagues. Please keep in mind and don't forget our motto: what is possible in your country must be possible in mine too. I wish you an excellent, fruitful forum. Thank you. Okay. So now it's time to give the floor to our speakers. And the first one, I have the pleasure to welcome Klaus-Peter Wilsch. Klaus is chairperson of the Aerospace Group and the German Bundestag. And Klaus-Peter is really someone, it's a close friend. So I know him from many years now, and is a loyal from a long time in the space group, from the Senate in Europe and everywhere. So, Klaus-Peter, I give you the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dominique. Hello to all. First, I'd like to thank for the opportunity to be here, to President Pascal Ehrenfreund and her General Director Christian Feichtinger, to the Sideralis Foundation and its head Juan Jamillo. They did a splendid job in organizing all that, also the cultural events. It was great. And especially to you, Dominique, I have been recounting it. I think you were still member of parliament when we met, and then you went to the Senate, and then you left the Senate, and you continued your work for space. And it's always great to see your compassion and your enthusiasm about space. It's good to work together with you. Well, we had national elections last year in Germany in autumn, and I want to give you an insight of German space policy post these elections, and some examples of governmental support for the German space industry, and finally some showcases, some initiatives that have socio-economic benefits, or show socio-economic benefits of space applications. Other than in the program, I'm wearing a tie today. I'm a fan of space tie with rockets, satellites, and astronauts on it. So give it a claim. Just overview of the coalition treaty. It will be a continuation of to define space and use space as key future technologies in Germany. The government has said they will develop a new space strategy. The last one was from 2010, so it's time for a new one. And the process, there's a draft in process, and the finalizing and presentation is expected in autumn prior to the ESA Ministerial Conference Council, and one focus, avoidance and recovery of space debris. We want in Germany strengthen our national space program, keep ESA an independent organization, and go on signing projects there. We are committed to the peaceful use of outer space, development of arms control in space, and the space exploration is defined as a key field of attention. In the past month, I have observed that one of the main games goals of the new government is the counter climate change, and thus counter climate change will also be a priority within the space policy. Works on a German space law are in the focus, but they have no claim that they will make it in the 4 years to come. They are more thinking about European or even international level. Let's see where we come forward. We continue to support astronautical space travel. Hope to see a German ESA astronaut on the moon. And we will support potentially the EU-based secure connectivity system. So far, that has been written last autumn concerning the fiscal priorities. The new majority, highly backed by pacifists, has to redefine a lot after the Russian cruel attack against Ukraine. Putin's ongoing war has provoked so-called Zeitenwende, change of times. In Germany, it's an ongoing process of redefining funding necessities in an unprecedented scale. Our new chancellor is now finally ready to spend more than 2% of our national income per year for defense, which means 20 billions to add on the scheduled 50 billions. And additionally, he promised to spend 100 billion for immediate needs for the forces. So we are now in the budgeting process and cannot clearly see now how this all fits together and comes out. We cannot simply print the money. So there will be some reprioritization of funding of different places, and I don't know how technology, space, and all this will be successful against social fundings and all this, which is always kind of a concurrent situation. Some points of the German industry, support for German industry. We have we consider the full value chain from space science and technology development to economic applications, tech transfer, and thereby hoping and seeing that vital ecosystems in space, in terms of space, are founded by that. We have especially for our SMEs, for our small and medium-sized enterprises, the InnoSpace initiative, and had last year a micro launcher contest in order to bring the new guys, the new space people, also into the game and let them take part at the so-called official space policy. This is another aim that we are looking that the framework conditions for startups are international competition good and right for going forward there. We are, as you all know, we are challenging a lot of problems like natural hazards, droughts, floods, or earthquakes. And there is, of course, Earth observation a key to help and to prevent. And we are, for one example, here in South America, our DLR, our agency, has activities with partners in Chile, Peru, and Ecuador, where the German remote sensing data center of DLR and partners focus on demonstrating the developed Earth observation-based applications in close cooperation with private sector entities. The SMEs involved in the project are collaborating with our German Chamber of Commerce abroad, the AHK, in Chile, Ecuador, and Peru, on cooperation with business models. DLR is as well engaged in supporting humanitarian and aid with technology in close cooperation with humanitarian aid organizations. At European level, we are well equipped with the European Copernicus Sentinel satellites and the Galileo satellite navigation systems. Space debris, as I told you, will be a special topic in the focus. Well, let's say it's the topic of space environment. The UN's Committee on the Peaceful Use of Outer Space, UNCOPUS, has just developed a guidance document on this legal framework to assist states who want to go for it. We are working together there for safe and sustainable use of outer space, and this includes the mitigation of space debris, but also fostering transparency and the communication exchange between space operators. I see my time is running out, Dominic. Yeah. But let me give me 1 more minute to give an invitation to all of you. Pioneering Aerospace is this year's motto of the famous ILA Berlin Air Show, Air and Space Show, one has to say. It is from the 22nd to 26th June at the BER in Berlin. ILA Berlin features the first in-person gathering of the aerospace industry in Europe since the outbreak of COVID-19, and we are happy to have it there and have the opportunity. And we will then have again Berlin as a place where you have to be if you are in space or in aero business and sciences. Companies, agencies, scientists will show how to pave the way for a sustainable future for aerospace, showcase of the transformation of civil aviation towards climate neutrality around the 3 key topics: innovation, new technologies, and sustainability. At the same time, ILA 22 will also highlight the benefits of discoveries made in space for society as a whole, ranging from climate protection, digitalization to mobility, security, and defense. So, your workshop is on the 16th June, yes. So it's pretty time to go to Berlin for the 22nd. Yeah, okay, so it's no problem at all. I would be very delighted to welcome a lot of you. Thanks you.
Thank you, Klaus-Peter. It was really, really interesting. So I pass the floor to Jesus Roberto Briano Burunda. He is member of Parliament of Mexico.
Hola, hola, hola. I will speak in Spanish. Distinguidos y distinguidas presentes, es para mí un honor dirigirme a ustedes durante esta conferencia global de la Federación Astronáutica Internacional sobre el espacio para países emergentes. Reconozco la labor de la Fundación Sideralis por fomentar la cooperación internacional en el desarrollo tecnológico espacial entre países emergentes a través de este acontecimiento. Saludo amablemente al señor Sheldon López como representante del Gobierno de Ecuador, así como a la señora Dominique Tillmans, vicepresidenta de Relaciones Ministeriales y Parlamentarias de la Federación Astronáutica Internacional. También quiero extender un grato saludo a las y los ponentes aquí presentes por sus invaluables aportaciones que llenarán con lucidez este evento. Señoras y señores, los ciudadanos mexicanos estamos viviendo una transformación en la vida pública del país. Estamos apostando en la atención a problemas nacionales con un enfoque social. Para lograrlo, el Gobierno de México redefinió los objetivos de la política internacional, entre ellos fortalecer la cooperación con los países de América Latina y el Caribe en materia espacial. México está apostando por las actividades de exploración y de investigación científica en el desarrollo tecnológico espacial. A través de la cooperación internacional espacial podremos contribuir y fortalecer el desarrollo integral y sostenible de la población de Latinoamérica y del Caribe. Desde el Poder Legislativo en México, mi papel como legislador federal, hago los esfuerzos necesarios para crear una regulación que respalden las acciones del Gobierno de México. En febrero de este año presenté la iniciativa que reforma la Constitución mexicana en materia espacial con el objetivo de considerar a las actividades relacionadas con el espacio ultraterrestre prioritarias para el desarrollo nacional. Además, la propuesta pretende otorgar las facultades al Congreso de la Unión de crear legislación en materia de las actividades relacionadas con el espacio ultraterrestre, para impulsar el desarrollo tecnológico espacial que detone el crecimiento económico de la nación. Es necesario la creación de políticas y programas con un sustento regulatorio. Crear regulación nacional espacial es asumir responsabilidades internacionales. Asimismo, permite contar con una cooperación internacional más estrecha y una mejor gobernanza de las actividades en el espacio ultraterrestre y la utilización de la ciencia y el derecho al servicio del desarrollo sostenible. Estoy seguro que esta conferencia global de la Federación Astronáutica Internacional sobre el espacio para países emergentes nos permitirá conocer los diferentes avances regulatorios en materia espacial que han realizado los países de la región. Finalmente, quiero nuevamente reconocer ampliamente a la Federación Astronáutica Internacional y a la Fundación Siderales. Agradezco enormemente la amable invitación. Muchas gracias.
And we are really happy that you are coming here. So, thank you very much for your statement, and pass the floor to Zeynep Yildiz. So, Zeynep is member of the National Education, Culture, Youth and Sports Commission, the Grand National Assembly of Turkey. The floor is yours.
Thank you, dear Tillmans. Honorable ministers, members of parliament, dear colleagues, it's a great honor for me to be in this stage and talking you with our common future and our future in this space. Actually, we are being told that we are free to select our headlines. That's why I selected this headline, Cooperative Future, because we are here to talk about emerging countries in our common future regarding space. That's why I want to make an emphasis on cooperation regarding our future and our shared goals regarding space, because I believe that to be strong together is possible, to be powerful with coexistence is possible, and to follow up this way with cooperation is possible also. And before starting my presentation, I would like to have a small backup regarding Turkey's history about space, because yesterday one of our colleagues made an emphasis on their cultural background. Actually, in all cultures, I believe that there is an emphasis regarding sky or space. Here are two figures in our history. It's believed that they lived in the 17th century, and one of them is Hazarfen Ahmet Çelebi, and the other one is Lageri Hasan Çelebi. Lageri Hasan Çelebi, the one on the bottom of the page, told us he flew through cartridges made from gunpowder paste. Yes, this is a kind of rocket at that time, but there is a difference. He is in that rocket at that time. Maybe this is an exaggerated example or not, but this emphasizes a kind of enthusiasm of the people about sky and the space. And the second one is Hazarfen Ahmet Çelebi. Hazarfen Ahmet Çelebi, with his bird's wing-like vehicles, flew through Bosphorus by gliding from Galata Tower. Maybe some of you visited Istanbul and you can remember the Galata Tower to the Üsküdar. So he flew through the Bosphorus. It's been told that actually one of our eldest history writer, he also lived in 17th century, tells us about them. But the truth is the curiosity and the enthusiasm of the people. Whether we are not sure whether they are live or not, but the common thing is that the curiosity and enthusiasm of them is a common thing for all of us. And to be more concrete on that, on our way to part of space, I can say that we are one of the countries participated in the founding meeting of ITU in 1865 in Paris. Alton Efendi was representing Ottoman Empire at that time. So out of 20 countries, Turkey was part of the establishers of ITU. And when we come today, our national space program is prepared on that curiosity and enthusiasm based on our culture and history. The program was declared, announced on 9th February 2021. It's a new one indeed, and it's all prepared by taking global developments and our technological capacity into account. And here are 10 targets pointed out regarding that national space program of Turkey. And one of them, first one is Moon program. By the next year, we are planning to be completed these two targets. One of them is Moon program, and the other is Turkish astronaut and scientific mission. Moon program is considering hard landing to the Moon service, and the second one is Turkish astronaut and scientific mission, which contains participation in scientific space studies for Turkish scientists by enabling their access to space. And here is coming our 10 targets. Third one is forming space industry ecosystem. Fourth one is unification of satellite production under a single framework. And the fifth one is increasing awareness in space and developing human resources. Sixth one is observation and tracking of space objects from Earth. Seventh one is space weather research. Eighth one is regional positioning and timing. Ninth one is access to space and spaceport. And 10th one is the space technology development zone. So by the following next 10 years, we are planning to be achieved in these 10 targets. So afterwards, I want to figure out the current situation of Turkey in the space. First of all, I want to start with that. We have 5 active communication satellites in the space, and also by the next year we will have one also, which is called TürkSat 6A, which we built up with our own technological capacity. This is a really important step for us. And more than that, we have from now on 3 observatory satellites, which are Rasat, Göktürk 1 and Göktürk 2, and the last one is also will be in the space by the next year, which is called İmece. İmece takes its name from a traditional working culture in Turkey, which actually emphasize the cooperation and collaboration. Each and every people makes something, puts something to the work. So by this way, the difficulties becomes more easier. So İmece takes its name from this traditional culture. That's why it's given this name. And under the headline of cooperation and our shared future, I want to underline and make an emphasis on Outer Space Treaty. First of all, the Article 1 actually points out some principles. I think these principles are so important for us. I need to hurry up because of the time. But I just want to say some keywords that are figuring out the principles of our space activities. The first of all, it's highlighted in the Space Treaty's Article 1st. It's been, the space is defined as common heritage of humankind. I think this is very important step. And more than that, the emphasis on free for exploration without discrimination of any kind, on the basis of equality. These are the key terms that pointing out our principles regarding space. All of these points are so important, I think. And I want to make a second emphasis on the Article 4, which our colleague from Bundestag also mentioned, the peaceful purposes. When we are moving in this space, to make an emphasis on peaceful purposes is so important, and bearing in mind that principles, we are able to build a shared and cooperative future in space. And for that reason, what can we do? Actually, there are some concrete examples. This is one of the, I think, a really good example. United Nations established a technology bank for supporting the least developed countries. Actually, I need to tell you that it's not, I don't like to classify countries by saying least developed or developed, but I think the intention is really good on that point, and we are hosting UN Technology Bank in Gebze, Kocaeli, near to Istanbul, and it's a really good step for to build up a cooperative future, I think. And in the name of cooperation, what we are doing, for instance, we have an observatory in Erzurum. It's in the eastern part of Turkey. There is a telescope with a diameter of 4 meters, and this observatory will open to all researchers to enhance their scientific work. So we want to share our scientific way with other scientists. So secondly, I want to make an emphasis on the young people. Actually, we have a technological festival in Turkey. And by the year, actually in 2018, there had been 4,300 teams were applied to this festival. Yes, yes. Thank you. But and by the year 2022, there are 150,000 teams applied that competition, which means a huge number of applicants here. So by having such teams, we planning to strengthen our human resources and cooperative working perception, and on the other basis of equality of opportunities. So we will be welcoming young people also from your countries too. And here are some results of that competition. For instance, team have their pocket cube now, who won the competition in that technology festival, and also there are other examples. And for instance, this competition moves in an international ground. Guladabdi, a Somalian kid, actually he designed a aircraft. Then we welcomed him in Technofest. So he had been an honor guest in this competition. So I think this example is also so important. So on the international ground, we need to maintain this cooperation. I think we believe that a fairer world is possible. And last but not least, I want to remind you Istanbul's candidacy for IIC 2025. Thank you for your attention, and thank you IF, and thank you Ecuador for this wonderful hospitality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zayeb. Zayeb was with us in Dubai. I'm sure she will be loyal also for our next meeting. Now I pass the floor to Manuel Asuncion Medina Giuseppe. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. And I think I can speak on behalf of everybody here to thank you for the wonderful shows at the opening ceremony. Thanks a lot.
Sí. Buenas tardes con todas y todos. Muchas gracias a los organizadores por invitar a este importante foro internacional. Espero que disfruten de este país intercultural, plurinacional. Yo vengo de un pueblo de nombre Zaraguros, en esta ocasión como asambleísta de la República del Ecuador y presidente de la Comisión de Educación, Cultura, Ciencia, Innovación, Tecnología y Saberes Ancestrales de la Asamblea Nacional. Hemos analizado algunos aspectos y quiero mencionar. Me gustaría hablar de la potencialidad que tiene actualmente la industria espacial para el desarrollo de los países emergentes y como los diferentes niveles estatales y funciones del Estado pueden contribuir para este fin, así como la aplicación de los avances de la industria espacial para el beneficio de la ciudadanía. Para iniciar, me alegra mucho el uso del término países emergentes, que permite superar la denominación de los países tercermundistas, que tanto daño nos ha hecho. De igual forma, me gustaría recordar que han sido pocas las experiencias que ha tenido el Ecuador referente a la industria espacial. En el año 2016, el Gobierno Nacional del Ecuador envió al espacio el nanosatélite Pegaso y posteriormente, en el año 2019, la Universidad UTE se convirtió en la primera universidad del país en lanzar un nanosatélite al espacio, al poner en órbita el cosmódromo Vostochny en el oriente ruso. Indicado esto, hay que entender que la industria espacial no trata solamente de las misiones espaciales, con astronautas, transbordadores espaciales. Es un tema mucho más amplio, que hace relación a las actividades relacionadas al desarrollo de las cadenas de productos y servicios asociados a esta industria, como el desarrollo de software, la construcción de partes, piezas o subsistemas para satélites o estaciones, integración de sistemas, cohetería y sitios de lanzamiento georreferenciales, entre otros. En tal virtud, es necesaria la concurrencia y el trabajo coordinado del Estado por medio de la función ejecutiva y la función legislativa, la misma cooperación internacional, las universidades, centros de investigación, las fundaciones y organizaciones no gubernamentales. La innovación y el desarrollo espacial para el desarrollo de la industria espacial. El papel estatal, por medio de la función ejecutiva y la función legislativa, relacionada a contar con un marco normativo adecuado que permita el desarrollo de la industria espacial conforme lo manifiesta el artículo 4 de la Constitución de la República y que genere incentivos para dicha actividad, así como el priorizar a la ciencia, la tecnología, la innovación y el desarrollo tecnológico, inclusive tomando en consideración el mandato constitucional establecido en el artículo 289 respecto a la preasignación en estas áreas, a fin de que los centros de investigación, las universidades y escuelas politécnicas, las organizaciones sociales y demás cuenten con recursos para este fin, así como generar condiciones para incentivar la cooperación internacional en el país. Cabe indicar que el Ecuador, por su posición geográfica, el de estar en la mitad del mundo y sus variantes particularidades, se encuentra en una zona privilegiada para que se realicen investigación en el ámbito de la industria espacial, por lo cual es importante que el país cuente con una entidad gubernamental que se encargue de liderar el desarrollo espacial nacional y que de igual manera estructure planes, programas, proyectos en los temas espaciales. Sin embargo, ante la situación política y económica que viene arrastrando el país, lamentablemente este tema han visto relegados y sin una orientación. Lo ideal para el desarrollo espacial, dadas las aplicaciones y utilidad, es mostrar interés en el mismo y avanzar de manera urgente en su desarrollo de manera progresiva, ya que solo de esta manera estaremos en la capacidad de generar investigación y experimentación con el objetivo de encontrarnos a futuro a un nivel similar o igual a otros países de la región, que permitirá la ejecución de aplicaciones prácticas en la vida de la ciudadanía. Finalmente, el papel de la Comisión Especializada Permanente de Educación, Cultura, Ciencia, Tecnología, Innovación y Saberes Ancestrales de la Asamblea Nacional, que presido, está orientada justamente en legislar a favor de la investigación y promoción de la innovación y el desarrollo tecnológico, así como de fiscalizar las actuaciones que realicen los poderes del Estado, ya que se debe fomentar inclusive los recursos a la industria espacial. Asimismo, hago un llamado al trabajo conjunto en generar un marco normativo y condiciones óptimas para el desarrollo de la industria espacial con una visión de función social y de servicio a la ciudadanía. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Manuel Asuncion, for this overview on Ecuador. Now I give the floor to Raivo Tam. Raivo is Member of Parliament of Estonia, Riigikogu. Is it right?
Riigikogu.
Okay, okay. And so Raivo was also in Dubai last year. So Raivo, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Honorable Ministers, distinguished members of Parliament, Excellencies, dear colleagues. On behalf of the Estonian Parliament, I'm most thankful for the opportunity to say a few words about the plans, experiences and challenges for the future of space in Estonia. Estonian industrial enterprises and scientific research organizations have participated in the development of space technologies and equipment since the 1960s. Estonia became an active participant and actor in the industry in 2007 after having signed the first cooperation agreement with the European Space Agency. In 2013, we launched our first satellite, EstCube, into orbit. Estonia became a full member of ESA in 2015, and the first research instrument developed in Estonia, Miaton Pro, arrived on board the International Space Station in 2018. We have a well-functioning ESA Business Incubation Center, and in 2020 we started to develop the Estonian Space Act, which is now final stages on preparation and soon ready to be presented to the Estonian Parliament. As space is becoming more relevant than ever before, Estonia is regularly increasing public investment in the sector, expanding our participation in different ESA programs, looking for more and more opportunities to collaborate and invest into the industry. The rapid growth of the space sector has created an excellent opportunity for a spin-in effect and the application of Earth-based technologies in space. Spin-in creates an opportunity for Estonian economic entities to find applications for cybersecurity technologies already used on Earth in the rapidly growing space industry. The Estonian Space Policy Program and Action Plan 2020 to 2027 has set 3 main fields of development for the Estonian space sector's industrial policy: cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and innovation. To fulfill the potential of our industry and live up to our ambitions, cooperation between international organizations is crucial. In the future, we are looking to improve the accessibility to downstream data and services, S-Tube, as well as to support and implement pilot projects with high exportal potential. We hope to give a significant contribution into developing and improving space, cybersecurity and digitalization, thus using our on-ground expertise in space. We have ongoing ambitions in robotics and in developing space rovers, Milrem robotics. We are continuing to build small satellites while also emphasizing the role of sustainability and related space legislation to regulate the registration, monitoring, and tracking of space objects. This includes the importance of developing and improving the overall space traffic management as well. On 26th and 27th October 2022, the Estonian Business and Innovation Agency, together with the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Communications, are organizing an event dedicated to software development and cybersecurity for the space domain Software-Defined Space Conference, which takes place in Tallinn, Estonia. The focus on the event is on software development and cybersecurity for the space domain, with the aim to raise awareness of the opportunities in the sector, commercialization, grow the space community to support sustainable development in the sector, forecast and visualize future demand, and bring the service providers and consumers together. We are looking forward to a very fruitful cooperation and remain enthusiastic for the future. Thank you for the time and attention.
Thank you, Raivo. You will give me some lessons to pronounce well the name of your parliament for Paris. Okay, so now I give the floor to Enrico Socia. He will speak on behalf of Gustavo Alonso Cabrera Rodriguez, Mexican ambassador to the Latin American and Caribbean Space Agency. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It is a huge honor to chair this panel today. My name is Enrique Sosa. I am president of the Aeronautical University in Querétaro, and I come today as an honorific consular of the Mexican Ministry of Foreign Affairs on aerospace industry. My goal today is to convince the emerging nation delegates present here on the relevance of investing in education for the development of local space industry. And to reach that goal, first I'm going to tell you a little about Querétaro and its recent and vibrant industrial development. Querétaro is a small state in central Mexico that used to be a very traditional economy. The activity was mainly focused on textiles and agro-industries, services, food and beverage, and some basic manufacturing. But in the turn of the century, something very special happened. In the context of Mexico integration to the NAFTA, when other Mexican states and regions were competing in attracting investments, generally to giving away land or governmental money, in Querétaro, we choose to start another path. The Querétaro approach to attract investments was centered in building capacities with two main strategies: investing in a specific infrastructure and investing in the development of specialized human capital, mainly specialized in training for automotive and aeronautical industries. That's how the Aeronautical University started. When a former governor was inviting Bombardier to install the first facility in Mexico, they mentioned that they had the necessity of having workshops to train a specialized worker in electrical assemblies. Quickly, this former governor, with a lot of vision and its team, they realized that to attract companies, they needed to trust that they will find the correct human capital around. So they decided to create the first aeronautical university in Latin America. UNAC is a public university that offers specialized and custom-tailored training for jobs, university graduate and postgraduate degrees, and also does applied research for the aeronautical sector, and now for the space. This year, we will train and educate 6,200 students in disciplines related to aeronautical design, aeronautical manufacturing, aeronautical maintenance, and air operations. The active participation of UNAC has helped to attract more than $2 billion in the past 15 years in investment and created more than 30,000 specialized jobs in Querétaro. I will skip all the boring context and all the more boring context that I brought to you because we are a little short on time. But we need to understand that we are not transition from old industrial economy to a knowledge economy. We used to have this old rule: build it and they will come. The vision was, if we build infrastructure as a key factor to attract investment and industrial development policy focused on cost reduction and logistics. But now we need a new rule, and the new rule is teach them and they will come. We need to invest in our people. We need to graduate more engineers, to make our engineers to work in project-based learning in engineering programs. I was seeing that Turkish example. We need kids working in satellites, in rocketry, in rovers, and that will make us have the volume of specialized kids in order to develop our own space industries. We need to invest in postgraduate space programs. We need to share the space culture in public administration because decision makers in health, security, forestry, mobility, sometimes they don't know the amount of tools we have available in the space sciences. And if we want to increase human life quality by space science, we need public policy to be on board. We need public funding on applied research on space tech for human life quality. And we need STEM everywhere and for everyone. We need a lot more women in STEM and a lot more women on aeronautical and space industries. What we have to do, we have to invest in capacity building. Which capacities? Low code, programming, big data, artificial intelligence, quantum encryption, microelectronics, telecommunications, satellites, rocketry, nanotechnology, and material science, metrology, testing, industrial design, simulation, advanced manufacturing. And I learned yesterday in Mr. Marquisi's presentation. We need to teach more international and space law, project management, supply chain. We also need to teach administrative skills for space engineering. What happens if we invest tons of money in capacity building and we fail attracting or developing the space industry? Nothing happens. Our economies will flourish because these capacities will help to increase the potential in the knowledge economy for other industries. So for our emerging countries, this is the best investment we can do if we want to attract and develop the space industry. We need to put a lot of money in developing our young people, and we need to invest and trust in their capacities, and the space industry will come. Thank you, everybody.
So, thank you, Enrique, for this great vision of the Space Agency for Caribbean, Latin America and Caribbean. Thank you. So we arrive at the end of our forum. It's not yet an MMOP's meeting. It was a forum. But today we are one step closer to a major MMOP's meeting that will gather more and more ministers and parliamentarians in the future. A forum where we inspire each other and where our expectations and our interests are met. But we can make much more. We must convince our colleagues that the MMOP's meeting is the place to be. Convince them that space can benefit all countries on Earth, and especially those who not yet are connected to space. Thank you, and I wish you a warm evening.
Thank you very much to our distinguished two co-chairs and to all the distinguished speakers. It just demonstrates there is a lot to present, and we really look forward to having you all and many more ministers and members of parliament on the 17th of September in Paris at our next meeting at the IEC 2022. Thank you very much. May I just ask you also to step forward to do a nice group picture.